Hey everybody, it's Michael Jeffries, and I thought it'd be fun to go through one of Sailor Bob, one of his quotes together from his book, What's Wrong with Right Now, Unless You Think About It. And just the title alone of the book is a huge pointer. It's so simple that it's overlooked, that it's our thinking about that gets us into trouble, so to speak, in that we're lost in imagination innocently, in that we forget our true nature, which is timeless, effortless, and already. So let's take a look. On page 16, questioner asks, I am just thinking my past experiences are useful if the need arises. And Sailor Bob replies, your memory is there to be used. So right out the gate, Sailor Bob is pointing out that you can't be your memory if you're able to use the memory. He says your memory is there to be used. So he's not saying it's you. It's something to be used. So right there is a huge distinction. He says it is useful, but when memory comes up and carries on, it starts to use you. Okay, so what is this memory that's using me, and what am I? He goes on to say, it will make you fearful, anxious, or depressed, or whatever. It is using that self-image that you have of yourself. If that memory is not good for it, then I don't want to be like this pops up. So you create another image in the future when you're going to escape from all of this. He goes on, as we said before, the mind is the only instrument that we have. So again, Bob's pointing out that you're not your mind, but yet the mind is the only instrument available. The mind is not the enemy, says Bob, just because it causes all the problems. I love that. Because just because the mind seems problematic, it doesn't make it the enemy. Maybe it's just our misunderstanding, innocently, believing that we are the mind. Big difference. Bob continues, if it is understood clearly, then it is there for what it is meant to be there for. It is a wonderfully creative instrument. Right? So there's the acknowledgement. The mind is amazing, truly. But not when we mistake it for us, what we actually are. That's the confusion. Bob goes on to say, it is a wonderfully creative instrument, but when it believes that it is running the show, then the trouble arises. The mind is so closely aligned with that pure intelligence energy. And because it has never been questioned, it has come to believe that it is the power. I am me. I am running the show. But when you look at it closely, you see that all it is an image, an idea, and on its own cannot do anything. It actually relies on that pure intelligence energy. And so Bob's pointing out that we are not the mind. We are the energy, the aliveness, that which doesn't come and go. You can almost think about it like the electricity for a fan. The fan relies on the electricity for its power. No electricity, no fan. So that's what's innocently not noticed, is that you aren't the mind. You aren't those thoughts. And when we identify with them innocently, then that's the suffering. Bob continues, now, right now, you're hearing and seeing. Does the hearing say, I hear? Does the seeing say, I see? What says those things? And the questioner replies, the mind. And Bob continues, so, in saying those things, the mind has given itself the power, believing that I'm doing something. Let's look further. Does the thought I see, does that see? Now, this is so powerful what Bob's saying here, if this can be grokked. Does the thought, right, the voice in the head that's saying I'm seeing or I see, does that thought see? Is that what's seeing right now? And then Bob asked, does the thought I hear, does that hear? The thought I'm hearing, is that actually what's hearing? Right? That's what's got to be looked into. Or does the hearing not depend on the thought? That you can hear this voice regardless of what thought's saying. Bob continues, so that is the proof that it has no power, but you're still seeing, you're still hearing. Effortlessly, the functioning, the happening is going on. Effortlessly. Everything is just as it is.